So, so this is the data manipulation class that we have been creating, and then we are trying to insert the object here. Now let's talk about ID. Let's see what is the ID that is getting created for this class. So we are for example, if I'm just creating the name equal to first account 4, and I have the phone number of employees and all that, I'm trying to call this method. Okay, simple. I'm creating a new class, and then I'm trying to call the method within that class. Okay, so we know that this is getting injected or inserted into the database, and then if you see here, we know how do we declare the variables. We have been declaring like integer a, like string, string data type with the variable and all that. This is called the variable. Okay, how do we declare the ID? So ID is always, we don't declare anything. We have to only get it from the existing records. Like now the record has been inserted, and then if you want to get the ID of the record that has been inserted, if you want to get the ID of the record that has been inserted, um, so so you want to get only the you want to get only the ID from the existing records that's been created. Okay, say for example, if you're seeing, I'm just creating a variable from the ID data type, ID equal to like account object dot ID. So this is so cool that this has the self-explanatory, like Eclipse. If you want to get the account number, you can get it, and all the fields will be displayed. See here, this is the ID of the account. You can just expand it. Now I'm just going to print it inside. Or let's do one thing. Let's do one thing here. Let's print the system.out.println. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys. So I'm just printing the value here. Okay. let's print like, account ID, account, sorry, we have to have it in the single quotes. ID of an account created. I'm just going to affirm this ID. Okay, I'm just going to print the ID. All I'm doing is we inserted, and then I'm printing the ID. I'm getting the ID and then I'm printing it. So this is to explain how the ID data type works. Okay, let's save this. Okay, variable system dot out. Okay, system dot debug. Variable does not exist. ID. Okay. One number 10. Oh, sorry. I cannot use the ID. ID is the data type. This is like printing the integer or printing the string, something like that. I have to print this guy, right? That is why it is throwing an error. I have to print this account ID. This is account ID. All right. I saved it. Now I'm executing it. So ID of an account created. This is the ID that we created, that got created. Okay. Let's take a look if we got created that. Sales on the account 4. You see here, this is the ID we have been telling you, right? WOOGQAC. So we got the value. We printed the value, the same value that got printed. Is it all clear? How do we get the ID and display the ID? This ID is another data type.
I think my question is like, how do you get all these things, like these instructions, like insert, account ID, and these kind of stuff? How do you learn all this?
I did not understand your question. How do you?
Like right now, like for the integer part, I know like we call it for the class. I know okay, you use these wording like public class, you use the class name and all these things. Now in here, like you have to insert ID and these kind of stuff. Like how do you learn this coding language? Like how do you know like for which thing we have to use what language?
No, it's not about the for which thing you're using the language. It's the same language, Apex language. The only thing is the statements. These are the programming statements. All we need to do is, now my requirement is to insert the object, right? I created
Okay.
an object here. And then I'm sending the object to this method to insert, and this is inserting it. And then, like integer, I have another data type called ID. Whatever it's inserted, I'm getting the dot ID, I'm printing it. You can print any field. Like for example, inserted object, right? If you want to field, like, if I'm just declaring a string, name of the object, like ACCTOBJ. This is the object, right? Object dot. I can even print all the fields, whatever the fields that you created for this object, it's available here. See, this is the name, right? So I'm printing the name value here. And then if I put ID and then the name, it's nothing to learn at all. It's like a conceptually, if you just know what are you doing, you should be able to write the coding. Now, I want the ID and I want the name. I printed the ID and I printed the name here. Okay, so string is always single quotes. So, and then I'm writing the name. I'm printing the name here. See, there are no compilation errors. So as I said, it's all simple. We have been dealing with very simple integers. Now we are dealing with the objects. This is one object, and I'm sending this object. I'm putting, like, all the name and everything, whatever I need to create. This object has been created from the account. I'm sending this object, and then I'm inserting the object into the Salesforce database. That is why as soon as you get inserted, we're able to see it here.
Got it. Yeah.
And then once you want to know, like, hey, what you inserted, what is the ID that got inserted, you never put any ID here.
Yeah.
You want to know what the ID of the object that you inserted. So it's like you're printing the ID here. Okay.
Got it.
And then you're printing. So any questions? Like, if I'm just typing like 5, and then if I'm executing here,
Now we are creating a new object.
so I'm creating that. If you debug it, you see here, the account name itself is coming. The account name itself is coming.
Yep.
This is the account ID and this is the account name. The account name itself is coming. Okay. So, which means that whatever it got inserted, I'm getting the value. It doesn't mean that you can get only the ID. You can get all the field values from that object, and then you can print it. I can do manipulations. Like, simple, guys. If you're having a gross income for an employee and you want to give 20% of bonus, you can give 20% of bonus, and then you can store it in another variable. Again, you can update the data, update the object, which means that you're getting the data and then you're doing some manipulations and then you're updating the data. So this is like, it's a controller which controls the middle portion of it, the apex, and then putting the data to the database. Any questions? Hello? Okay. So the next data type is called, you guys can go on mute. I get some echo. You guys can go on mute. The next type is the collections. So we have been seeing all the data types, and next we will be seeing the collections. Like, there are, like, what does mean by collections? Collections are a group of objects or group of items, anything, an array. It's like a group or bunch. Okay, more than one. Those are called the collections, right? That's what we call it as a collections. So these are all the primitive data type, which is a singular data type. The next one is a collection data type. Okay. What are the things? The main important thing for the collection is all about list. List is here. You are having a list of items. That is called the collections. Okay. Like, say for example, if you want to save the collection of records, not just one, a collection of records. If you want to save like a collection of records, what will you be doing? Okay. So now let's see how can we insert more values, like, the group of objects. Okay, as I said, collection is also a class. Okay, how will you create the collection object? Again, the same thing. Like, if you are creating a collection of, if you want to store number of objects, or like, number of records, the group of records, you have to create a collection object. How will you create the collection object? Exactly the same thing. List is one of the collection object. List, let's take an example of contact list equal to new list. Okay, and one of the important thing is you can specify what is that the list will contain. The list will contain bunch of contact object. I can put like this, meaning your list is going to have bunch of contact objects. It's going to be new list of contact. Okay, this is how you can just declare the list of objects. All right, now let me go and create, yeah, collections. So there is a requirement that you cannot go and do one record at a time. You can even do multiple records, right? Multiple records at a time. So let me copy paste this code. I'm going a little slower because I had a comment that I have to little bit slow down. But he's able to get everything. But if you can little bit slow down, that will be a help. So I'm just not going faster. You can stop me in case if you have any questions. All right, so I'm going to save this, guys. Okay. So all right, now let's go, and then let's ignore the class for a minute. You can close these classes and all that, right? So let's open the anonymous window. Okay. So here, as I said before, I'm creating this is the comment. This code will not get executed. Okay, if you put double slash, it's a comment. Creating a list of objects. Now we saw only one object. How to insert one object. Now we are going to insert multiple objects. How do we do that? List. We are going to use a collection. When you are in more than one, we have to use a collection object. List is a collection object. List contact. I'm saying contact list. This is the object name equal to new list contact. Okay, this is just to tell what type of object this list can have. The list cannot have account. In this case, the list will have only the contact object. Okay, otherwise it will throw an error. Hey, the list is a placeholder only for the contact. You are trying to put account object. I'm not going to accept it. Okay, that's what it will say. All right. So remember, what did we do when we create a account? We created with a new, right? New account, right? Similarly, exactly the same thing we are going to do. If you see here, new contact. So let's go to the contact object. Let's see what are the fields that are available. So we have like let's take an example of some fields here. Okay. So we have like first name, last name. Okay, that's fine. We can write a code with the first name equal to like Joe, and last name equal to Biden. And then what are the other fields we had? All right, contact. We have the department, Okay, we have the department. Okay, let's take a department. Department equal to politics.
Excuse me.
Okay, just writing a comma. This is one object. I'm going to create another record. The same thing. Comma. I'm trying to create 3 records. Okay. This is like Barack Obama. Michael Jordan. And he's into the sports. Okay. So I asked comma, comma. Since I'm ending it here, I don't want any more comma. All I'm going to have is, if you see here, this is the curly brace that we created. The curly brace is the symbol to hold your multiple objects. Okay.
Okay.
This is the open bracket and this is a closed bracket. We have it. And then I'm closing it here. So this list will have the bunch of objects, not one object. Previously, we used to have one object with just new. Now, all 3 objects will be declared and then save it in the contact list. And then all you have to do is, we already know how to insert the object into the Salesforce. Right? Insert this list. That's it. Okay. Let me try to execute this code. First, oh, I have a typo, FIRST. There is no such field. That's all it says. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the Salesforce sales app. And you go to the contacts. You see, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Michael Jordan. These 3 got created. So it got created. So it got created right now, 19th, 7:03 a.m. 7:03 p.m.
The department came as well.
Yeah, which is in the Pacific time, maybe 7:03 p.m. Okay. Second.
Their department came as well. Sports.
Yeah, the department came. Yeah, sports. And if you go to Joe Biden or Barack Obama, we have the department as politics. Okay. So if you see here, all I did is, now I am dealing with multiple objects. It's so simple. So all you have to declare is a list. If you are just inserting this object, if you declare as this object, you have to have, like, contact object equal to new contact object. I didn't do that. I dumped new. New is the operator to create a new object, and then I stored it in the new list, which is called the contact list. And I just inserted the contact list, and then it got saved all the 3 records at one time. Now you know how you can do the bulk save. This is called the bulk save operations. Right? Any questions?
No.
Go ahead.
What if we have more than if we need to insert more than 20 or 30 like that, we need to follow the same process?
Either you can do the same process. Yeah, either you can do the same process. Okay, if you have the value, or you can even do it with within your for loop. Okay, this is the repetitive, right?
Yeah.
You can write the looping structure, for loop, for 1 equal to 2 equal to 3 equal to, like, for it. We will come back to the how to get the for loop, how to use the for loop. Okay, you can use
Okay.
the loop, and then you can update your data, update your record.
Okay.
It's a basic programming, like, instead of repetitive things, what do we use in programming? We use the looping structure. What is the loop we will be using? It will be, you can use the for loop, or you can use while. The most commonly used loop in the Salesforce is the for loop. Okay,
Okay.
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
So you don't have to repeat this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Are you able to follow me? Okay, since you asked, let's see, like, okay, so we already know one of the DML operations, right? So we have seen the DML operations. The DML, we all know what is the DML. Insert, what does the insert do? And we inserted a single record, we inserted a bulk, right? Let's see how we can use the update. Okay, since you asked for the for loop, let's write a logic to retrieve the data. And you say, so for example, hey, Joe Biden no longer with Barack Obama no longer with politics, and he's working in, like, volunteering service. We'll change the department into the volunteer. Okay, he's no longer in politics. Let's imagine that as an example. Okay. Okay. Right. So let's say, for example, we'll just mark it as Joe 1, because again we are going to use the same coding, right? So I don't want to repeat the same code and waste time. So we just, for example, we are just having first name as Joe 1, Barack 1, and Michael 1. This will be created again, Joe 1, Barack 1, and Michael 1, and then Barack politics will be updated to volunteer. That's the requirement. Okay, let's see. Then let's say, as an example, like, this is the update operation. Let's write some code for the update operation. You can hold the list, again contact. Okay, update list. Okay, or update contact list, something like that. Anything equal to new list. New list of contact. Okay, so for what is that we are going to iterate? We are going to iterate this list. This is the list we inserted, right? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the list. This is the list that we inserted. So I'm going to iterate this list. Okay. What is that this list has? This list has the contact object, right? So contact. I can even create some object. You have to iterate one after another, one object after another object. Okay. This is the loop structure. I'm going to iterate this list. This list has contact object. So I'm putting one after another in the contact object. What is this type? This is the contact, right? I'm declaring a variable. Nothing but declaring a variable. Contact object, contact list, which means I'm iterating this contact list. This has 3 objects. And if I'm writing this for loop, I have to have a bracket. So it gets the first object in the list and then store it here. And then it comes, again, it gets the second object, it comes third object, until it reaches the last object. One after another it will come. Okay, you don't have to. In Java we used to tell what is the list dot size. Even you can even tell here, like, if there are any anything like, dot size, you will do that in the Java. But here we are just iterating all the contacts within this list and then saving it in the contact object. Okay, and then what we are saying is, if, remember in this program I taught you how to get the ID. This is how we get the ID, right? Also, I can get any field name, object dot field name, right? So if contact object dot field name, like for example, first name equal to, this is the condition, if condition. Okay, if this equals means it's an operator assigning something. Hey, I'm assigning this value to this list. I'm assigning this value to this list. If you see here, I'm assigning value 1 to A. I'm assigning value 2 to B. This is the assigning operator. 1 equal to. If I put 2 equal to, it is called the conditional check. I'm checking with the condition if cont object dot first name equal Barack. This value Barack 1. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to assign contact object dot department equal to volunteer. I'm doing nothing. I insert these 3 items and I'm iterating this 3 item. Each item will be saved into the contact object. And then I'm checking if first name equal to Barack. Only for the Barack I'm just updating. So this is the if conditional check. So you learn collection object, you learn the looping structure, looping of the object. You also learn the conditional check. Barack, then I'm updating the same object. Then we know how to insert, right? The same thing. I'm going to have, this doesn't matter that there will be only one Barack. There can be multiple Barack. Or if you are saying that there is a typo in the politics. Okay. Hey, there is no such department called politics, man. I did a mistake. All politics, whatever the department, whoever has the department of politics, they should be updated to volunteers. Okay. Something like service volunteers. There is no something called, let's not put politics in there. Take out the politics, replace all the politics with service volunteers. So it comes, looks for the first one. It will check if department is politics. Yes, it will come inside and then update the object with the new department value with the service volunteers. It will come for the second, but Michael Jordan, it will not come because this will not satisfy this condition. The department of Michael Jordan is sports. It will not come inside. So if it comes to the if condition, then you are saving it in the list. This list, you are saving it. Saving means you are adding the list. List.add contact object. You keep adding the contact object here. Okay, simple. So I am inserting 3 objects, inserted, and then after that I'm iterating this object. I'm checking, putting one after another here, iterating it in this. I'm checking if the first object is politics, then I'm updating the department to, and then I'm saving it in the another list. This is the list to update. Okay, I can even do the update here without the list. I can even just do like this, like, you know, update object. This also will work. This also will work, meaning if the condition satisfies, it will update the connect new object that got updated. But I'm doing the list. It's always recommended that you do one hit to the database, send your list. Okay, this, if you have 1,000, it will hit the database 1,000 times. It will hit the database. If there are 1,000 department equal to politics, it will see for here, it will come first, it satisfies, it will update in the database. and then it will comes again. It will again hit the database because second one is also politics. Third one sports. It will not come, so it skips. Fourth one, if there is million records, it will be a problem. So it's always recommended to do it as a list. That's what Salesforce recommends, and it makes sense. You do one thing, one hit to the database with a list. So now I'm just adding it to the list, list.add connection object. So here I have 3 objects. But while it iterates, I'm checking the condition, if condition, with the politics. So this will satisfy only 2 objects, and only 2 objects will be saved into this list. Any questions so far? Outside the for, once it does with all the for loops, for structure. See, this is the for. When I'm clicking here, it tells green color is here, right? So it ends here. So outside the for, I do the update. This is the list name. Same thing. We do the insert list name. And next I'm doing the update list name. That's all. Any question with this code? Okay. I believe you guys are able to get it. Now let's see. Okay. I'll execute this. Now it got executed without errors. Now let's go back to the contacts. So if you see Barack 1, Obama, let's see the department. You see here service volunteers. At the same time, if you go and see Michael Jordan, Michael 1 Jordan, it will not get updated to service volunteer. It will still be sports. So the reason being, our code has 3 objects initially, and everything was inserted. And then I'm checking those 3 to make sure this whoever has politics, I updated to service volunteers, and then I'm updating the list. Now you learned the 2 DML operations. What is insert, what is update? This is update to the existing records. This is inserting the brand new record.
I've got one question. Why did you change the first name, like from Barack 1? Why did you do it? We could, without the 1, we could still do it or no?
We can do it, but this code doesn't make any sense. It will create the duplicate. This is creating a new, right?
Okay.
This will create a new.
But it's manipulating the data as well, because like the proper name is Joe. It's not Joe 1.
It's not okay. If that okay, then I'll have to wipe off this record. Okay, I have to wipe off this record. I have to create a list, new list. Okay.
Okay, got it.
I'm getting the list. I have to write some queries to get the list. That is coming in next class. How to write the query? Like, hey, update all contacts who has the politics to service volunteers. I can write the query and then put in the list. I need something to the list, right?
Okay.
I need the input. This is the input list. I need the input list. Where will I get it? You need to get the data who has the department's politics.
Okay.
I need to write some SQL statement here. I don't want to confuse with you by writing the SQL statement here. That will be the next session. How can you write a query to the database? Once you say, for example, if you pull contacts who has department as politics, that will give you Joe Biden and the Barack Obama. You have to. The next step is, this is a pseudo code. Okay, this is not the real code, pseudo code, logical code. Save the list to collection, update the collection. So update the collection, I did it. Pull contacts from the department. This you have to do it with the SQL query, SQL query, SOQL query, Salesforce object query language, SOQL query. I'll be teaching you SOQL next session. Okay, I don't want to mix up everything in one class. So this will give you the contact list. You can save them into the list, save the list into the collection. This collection will be the contact list. If I don't do this step, I need something to iterate, right? That is why I inserted, I used the same collection list to update. Does it make sense?
Yep, it does.
Now, if I just have this, I know that, here this collection already has 3, whatever I inserted, I can use this as the input and then update the records. That is why I did not delete this. Instead, I just renamed it. If I'm just, that is my way of teaching. I have to take it slowly, very clearly and conceptually. I don't want to go and write the query to pull Joe and then update it, which will work perfectly, but you will have to understand that what is SQL and everything. I have to give you the introduction of SOQL and then how can be executed, what is the purpose of it, then how to execute, and then pull the record and then save it in the collection, then update it. Okay, it has some steps. So I need some way, something to put it here and then to update it. So I don't have this at this point of time. So I used to repurpose the same code. So that is why whatever it's inserted, this collection I used to iterate it. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
That.
Any questions? I have like 8 more minutes. I have another meeting at 9:30. I'm going to save this. Today we learned about the collections, ID, bulk uploads, one more DML called update. These are the 5 things that we learned today. So, do you have any questions?
No.
Is it all clear?
Yeah. Karthik, can you just explain this part of this thing? I have just doubt in here. Like
Which
update contact list dot add and contact object, and again you have written as update contact list. It's already updated over here. Then why to update it again?
Okay, no worries. It's not already updated here. This is not the DML. This is saving to the list. Remember?
Okay.
This is the list. This is an empty list that we created. Empty object, empty collection. This is a collection.
Okay.
This is the empty collection. This has nothing. You want to put something in your collection. I'm putting it by using the add word, collection.add, list.add. I'm putting one object, another object.
Okay.
This is the DML operation.
Yeah, got it.
This is the DML operation to save into Salesforce. This is the empty collection. This is the storing the record to the list or collection, storing the records to the collection for the update operation. So if you see here contact list I already added, created the object. So this list has the data already. Okay, I just wrote the curly brace as I said. This is one single statement, list, declaring the list, new list, and then I'm just put everything. So these are the 3 things that I have it in this list. But in this list, where is the data? This is just the empty list. You need something to update, right?
Yeah.
I'm adding it to the list.add, and then I'm adding the object. What object I'm adding? I'm adding the object that I iterate from the original list. From this list, whatever I iterate, only if the department is politics, I'm also updating the object value, object field value. So object.field with a service volunteer, I'm updating only that object. This is inside the if condition. If you put it outside, this one, if you put it outside, then all the 3 will be again updated.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to do that. I want to update only these 2. So I'm updating this list. This list will have only 2 items, whoever has politics. And then I'm just updating the list. Update is the DML operation to update the list. This is like pumping the data to the list or collection. This is the real update DML operation. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Honest. Got it.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So Sai, Okay, can you email me the? I saw your screen grab that the question that you asked. Okay,
Yeah.
I will reply you if you can send me the details. Okay, or else tomorrow on Wednesday when we meet, before start the class, we will debug and then fix it and then we'll move forward.
Sure.
Show me. Can you show me, or can you share your screen and show me if you're ready or if you're having it handy? I have 3 minutes.
I've got one question for you as well.
Second, sorry.
I've got a question for you as well, like for the tomorrow meeting.
Right. So yeah, Syed did not call me. I asked him to call me back. Okay.
Didn't call you because he told me he's gonna